Hi friends, just wanted to say thanks for watching the video ahead of time. I'm super stoked to show you this key. Although I didn't really talk about it in my past videos, I stayed super conscious of using Living Bomb and my weapon. I'll also talk about some of the issues I had with my rotation. And of course, I'll be talking about the bosses. So starting off the pull, I use mirror images to have 20% DR. I use Living Bomb before I enter combustion. As I'm entering combustion, I use meteors so it can benefit from the crit and mastery. I wanted to turn my heating up into a hot streak by using Phoenix Flames. This puts my 4-piece buff on the ads and lets me start stacking for my free Phoenix Flames. Then I just go through my rotation. So for every target Living Bomb explodes on, it gains CDR. Since my Living Bomb is back up, I use it. I also use Shifting Power at this point to regain my lost Fire Blast charges and Phoenix Flames going into my mini combustion. Here, I should have used Living Bomb after I enter mini combustion, but I forgot. So this is a small change I'll start thinking about in the future. Having a big healthy target is super nice for Fire Mage. This lets you focus on a target and cleave Ignite without having to worry about losing a Pyroblast because the mob died before it could hit. So for all the bosses, I'm not worried at all. There are no mechanics that can outright one-shot me, but I'll still be sure to actively use my defensives. It's super important to stay healthy throughout the fight, so you don't have to worry about dying because your healer died or some weird situation happened. Whenever I get Chill Storm, I alter time. This helps me move out of the way. If I take a tick of damage for some reason, it's not that big a deal because I can go back to 100. I always try to have something for the knockback. In this case, I use Mass Barrier. I don't really think about protecting the group as much as I think about protecting myself, and if they survive, then that's just an added bonus. Keep in mind that this is mostly for pugging, and if your healer calls for it, you should use it. When the boss first phases at 75%, I use mirror images. This gives me a 20% DR during this entire phase. This also means I get to take advantage of the DR during the later Chill Storm knockbacks. My mirror images are gone at this point, so I used my shield. If my shield was not up, I would have used one of my defensives. This is because I was not topped up before the knockback went out. For the second phase, at 50%, I used Ice Cold. I knew that breaking the boss's shield would take longer since our priest had died. After we break the shield, I used my mirror images. This gives me 40 seconds to not have to think about using my defensives too much. I lust Flame Golem. I know that it typically takes more than 5 minutes to clear the whole ring, so I'm completely safe for using my double lust here. I also have a shaman in the group, so if we did clear super fast, I'd be completely fine. Luckily, at 50%, my mirror images were back off cooldown. It's important to note that it's 50% because that's when Flame Gullet starts gaining a buff. Every stack of the buff increases his AoE damage. Here, I spell steal the 20-second buff from the Cinder Weaver. This gives me a ton of haste, but it also means I take increased damage while it's on me. So, before you spell steal it, be sure that you are confident in your ability to use the defensive. Being able to bait properly for this boss is super important. When baiting the ad, you should bait in front of the boss. This lets you run behind the boss afterwards and bait the boulder away from the ad. This helps keep your path unobstructed. To help out my healer, whenever the Inferno spawns, I think about what defensive I want to use. For the first one, I had to use mirror images. For this one, I used my shield. So right here, I get scared. I have a boulder on me and bad to all sides, so I blink. The issue is, the ad then dies, and I'm stuck in the circle. So I have to run through bad to get out of the circle. I have the right idea of using a defensive, but I used the defensive when I was no longer in danger. Here is super spooky. Inferno goes off, but I would have been completely fine if I'd used my greater invis. But we see our whole team drop to sub 20%. Our tank dies, but luckily the boss was preoccupied killing the shaman and the priest's tentacles. This channeler has a buff, but this buff actively damages you, so it's best not to spell steal that. It's only a couple of seconds long, so it's not really worth the time it takes to spell steal it anyways. For the mini boss, I don't want to waste the defensive since I know that the boss can hurt. So I just have to trust my healer and hope he does not let me die. So for this boss, there are no mechanics that I'm really afraid of. The circle that the dragon puts on you hurts a lot, so you should use something when it's on you. Also, you want to make sure that you drop the bad on the outside of the pillar. This lets you keep baiting the boss in a more favorable position. Unfortunately, on this pull, the dot ticked and killed our healer, so we had to quickly reset to have another try. When we lust, I use mass barrier. I want to make sure that none of my friends die this time around. It's super important that we are all alive because this is our last shot. Once again, thank you for watching. I super appreciate it. If you could follow my Twitch, that would be super cool. I stream on occasion. If there is anything you'd like me to start focusing on, write it down below in the comments. And have a good day.